What we do about meeting together again in the future, you may be curious. After the latest changes in the government guidelines, and you'd have seen shops and opening for the first time in a while yesterday. And so you might be thinking, well, what does that mean for us as a church? Will it be possible for us to meet together soon? Well, the first word that we used to describe church is the Greek word ecclesia, and it means a gathering of people for a purpose. And so gathering together is in the nature of who we are as a church. It's what we do, who we are, and part of our purpose. And so we're delighted we haven't had to stop meeting together during this lockdown period. It's been different, but we've been able to keep meeting together through a live stream and life groups and downpour and prayer and meditation times and all that sort of thing. But if I'm honest, it's not the same. And we miss you all. I've been so blessed by the worship that we've done online, and would love to have, as we've learned how to glue the worship band together. I've learned new skills in doing that, and that's been fab. I was so blessed with Matt and Hayley and David playing this morning, and hopefully more of the other bands as we go forward. But I miss being together, particularly for worship. There have been some really positive things that have come through meeting online. My commute to church is certainly shorter. I know some of you have loved being able to do church in your pyjamas. I know some of you are very grateful that we haven't adopted that policy here on the live stream. And we've met new people through doing it online. We've been able to do things like our joint gathering with Coventry Vineyard, our big church last week, where we joined together with all the vineyards across East Anglia. But it's not the same, and it is hard to replicate some of the really important things about being together in our Sunday mornings. And I think one of the really important ones is the challenge that in Vineyard we say everybody gets to play. And God's been teaching us a lot recently that when we gather together, as Jackie Pullinger put when she came and did teaching for us, that God is not just at the front of the church. That when we gather together, not only do we give to God in our worship, and not only do we receive teaching, but we gather to minister to each other, to encourage and build that up. And whilst we're really blessed when people message in words and pictures, it's hard to replicate that online. Part of our purpose of meeting together is to be family, to do life together. And lovely as it is to meet on Zoom, it's hard to replicate that fully. So we are eager to meet again. And so that begs the question, when will it be possible to do that? Well, it may be possible again soon in some formats. And we've explored over the coming days what is possible. Will be possible for life groups to get together, maybe do a socially distanced walk in the park or something like that. But the guidelines don't quite allow for that yet. If you read them through, only 6 people from different households meeting together. And so that's not a life group at this point. But that doesn't stop those small groups getting together informally. It doesn't need a programme from church in order for you to go and do that and meet up with your friends and family from church individually. So let me encourage you to do that in a safe and socially distanced way. And as the guidelines change or we get more clarity, we'll be discussing with life group leaders what is possible. But in the meantime, life groups will continue to meet online. And if you're not part of a life group, now's a great time to get connected. Drop us an email at office@cambridgevineyard.org.uk and we'll connect you with those. So what about Sunday mornings? Well, of course we want to meet when we can, but only when we can do it safely and in a way that meets the purpose of why we gather together on a Sunday morning. And whilst worship is not just about singing, worship in the form of singing is an important part of what we do at Vineyard, as well as meeting together as family to encourage each other. That's why we tell our gather and go stories. That's why God gives us miraculous gifts to build each other up. And at the moment, when you look at the guidelines, and they do need some fleshing out about what's possible, it looks like there may be restrictions around numbers. The number 30 has been bandied about, but at the moment it's unclear whether that's to do with weddings or meeting in general as a church. Singing is not recommended, neither is serving food.
Or shouting.
Shouting. Do we do that much shouting?
I don't know. across the room.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, to get that. And there's the need to socially distance as well, perhaps wear face masks. And the hanging around that we do at the end of being family together is not encouraged. And so that would mean also some huge challenges for our Vineyard kids, who are a really important part of what we do on our Sunday morning. Yeah. And it's likely that Parkside College would have some requirements of as well. I've spoken to Darren, the site manager there, and with the school, and we've agreed to work together to look at what is possible for when we can meet together. But that is going to take time. And so if you take all of those things together, what we'd be allowed to do right now, if I'm honest, it doesn't sound much like church. And certainly not our Sunday morning gathering. So for now, we're going to continue to meet online. When we do meet together in person, we'd like to continue to live stream. Because there may well be people who, for health reasons or whatever, still don't feel able to come along. And so we're looking to put a team together that will enable us to continue to live stream when we meet together. I've enjoyed the challenge for learning how to do it from our living room, and we've been gathering kit that will enable us to do that back at Parkside, but it won't be possible back at Parkside for Jude and I to do it all. So if you're interested in becoming part of that team, do get in touch if you think you can help with that, or you'd like to learn how to do that. It's not that difficult. If I can learn to do it, then anybody can. And so we're going to take our time to work through the guidance. Vineyard Churches UK and Ireland have been fantastic in giving advice, as have the Evangelical Alliance, and the Church of England's advice has been really helpful. So we'll be working through that with the trustees, doing risk assessments, working with our Sunday morning team coordinators to look at what is possible. But we're not going to rush straight back in the immediate Sundays. We will continue to meet online, and we are so grateful that we have the capability to do that. We can learn as we go through to do it even better. Today, I think I've even remembered to come off mute every time I'm supposed to. So there is hope. And we'll look at what gathering in person together could look like if it's not Sunday morning straight away. Could we structure and do things differently? Get together and worship in forms other than singing, meet and sing outside if that becomes possible. Who knows, but we will explore that. But we will come back together at some point. And when we do, I want that to be a great family reunion. And we want to be able to welcome new people and worship and pray together.
And maybe have a party.
And have a party. Yeah, most definitely. But in the meantime, let us encourage you to continue to gather and go. That's how we verbalise how we join in with God's purpose for us to gather in God's presence, to be transformed by the Holy Spirit, and to go and love and serve. And so church has not stopped being church. Church hasn't closed. God is still working. He's still meeting with us, blessing us with his presence and transforming us with his Holy Spirit. And we're excited by the stories of where we hear that happening. So let's press on. Let's keep loving family and friends and neighbours and strangers. I love the phrase that Gavin Calver, the CEO of the Evangelical Alliance, uses. We have words and works and wonders. So let's bless people with all of those. Let's bless people with extravagant acts of love and generosity. Let's share the good news of Jesus. Let's tell people that they have a God who loves them. Let's use the miraculous gifts to bless and heal and bring freedom. We will meet again when it's aimed to do so, but let's not tread water waiting. God's kingdom is breaking through now, and God is inviting you to join in with what he's doing. God is stirring up new things in some of you, calling you to new acts of courage and bravery, and there are new opportunities. So let's press on together.